This is going to be spoilers for the Stormlight Archive in total. We have a question today on a previous video. If she, Shallan, is at her third truth, fourth oath, then shouldn't she have armor? Follow me the other two who have armor. We do know blades work differently between orders, but, there's no sentence that says, Shallan sprouted her shard plate into existence. But let's look at the receipts I do have for why I think Shallan, in fact, does have shard plate. And this is coming from a previous video. If you click on the comment, you go back to it, where Brandon says that at the end of Words of Radiance, Shallan was one step above Kaladin, which would make her fourth oath Lightweaver. So let's take a look. This is from the end of Oathbringer, and we have here the battle at Thaylen City, and Shallan is doing her light weaving. Forming from mist was Vale, with long, straight black hair, white clothing, brown eyes, wiser than Shallan, more focused, capable of working on small pieces when Shallan grew overwhelmed by the large scale of her work. Another hand took Shallan's on the right, radiant in glowing garnet shardplate, tall, with braided hair. So here we just want to establish that there is a Shallan, and then Vale appears next to her, and then Radiant appears next to her, and she is wearing glowing garnet shardplate. So want to establish that first, and let's jump forward a little bit. Later on, Yasna finds Shallan, and this is what is said. She was the one Yasna could feel. She blinked away tears. Are you real? Yes, Shallan. You did well out here. She touched Radiant's arm, then glanced toward the fused. So this is showing us that when Yasna comes upon Shallan at the battle, when she's been soul casting, when she's been light weaving, Yasna goes to touch Shallan, nothing happens. She goes to touch Radiant, and she's solid. And remember, Radiant is the one who is wearing the plate in the previous section. So we don't have that exact continuation piece, but then there's one more piece of evidence I want to look at. This is after the beachfront, when Shallan's done all of her light weaving, and Yasna has noted that the light weaving seemed to have substance to it. Yasna says this, "It is well, Shallan," Yasna said. "I merely wanted to see, as it seemed you were soul casting to give your illusions weight. But then, concentrated stormlight has a faint mass to it. Either way, up the steps, child." Now, this is the kind of thing that Brandon loves to do. He loves to have a character believe that they know why something has happened and explain to another character why something has happened, and then everyone moves forward believing that is what has happened. But it is also possible that we have here an example of what a Lightweaver's shard plate can do. Spoilers for Rhythm of War now. But we've seen that a Windrunner's shard plate is able to separate and go to different people and protect them and move around in ways that are not like a traditional amount of shard plate. And so my theory is that we have Radiant wearing the red shard plate that Shallan has earned, even though she can't accept that she's that far along, and that in her light weaving, her shard plate was being sent out into the light weavings, creating those more substantial illusions. Yasna thought it had to do with soul casting. Then she realizes it can't be soul casting because Shallan's not able to soul cast. It says that in the chapter here. And then she tries to attribute it to investiture, stormlight having a faint mass to it. But I think the more likely explanation is that we have seen here several pieces that have come together to show that Shallan Devar, in fact, has shard plate. She just doesn't realize it yet.